So for the past 2 weeks or so, we've spent some time driving around Ireland, Republic of Ireland. We've kind of done a big loop of the country. We've been to some beautiful places since we've been out here, but we've covered a lot of miles. I think in total we've done pretty close to 2,000 miles. So I feel like I've got a good grasp of what driving in Ireland is really like. Now, if you are watching this video and you're from the UK, maybe you're thinking of hopping over on the ferry. We came over from Holyhead, which is in North Wales, and we'd got the ferry over to Dublin. It was only 3.5 hours. Very, very simple, easy process. You literally just drive onto the ferry and then you drive off again, and that's it. They only just do one check of your passport. It's a very, very brief check, and then you're basically free to drive around the country. Now, I'd imagine the majority of you watching this probably are from the UK, probably are going to do something similar to what we've done. But if you are not from the UK, maybe you're watching from the US or you're watching from Europe or whatever, then you probably haven't had the experience of driving in the UK. Driving in Ireland is pretty much the exact same as driving in the UK. They drive on the left side. All the cars are right-handed drive. Like the car I'm in now, this is a UK registered car. So yeah, driving here is pretty much the exact same as driving in the UK. You know, the road layouts are pretty much the same. The motorways, the highways, they're pretty much the exact same. And what I would say, actually, the road surfaces here in general, they're a lot better than the UK. Yeah, you do have the odd road that, you know, does have potholes. It's typically going to be a road that's in the middle of nowhere. But with that being said, actually, we went to a place called Achill Island. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And that was basically in the middle of nowhere. It's basically the western side of the Republic of Ireland, and they was just resurfacing the roads there. So that was quite surprising, just because it's nowhere near a city. But yeah, in general, the road surfaces here are very good. If you know the UK, you'll know that they're very, very poor, the road surfaces. You know, there's potholes everywhere. You end up breaking a alloy wheel, or you end up snapping a spring in your suspension. And it's just not the best. But yeah, the roads here are very, very good. Now, as you can probably imagine, if you are planning on driving anywhere, you know, close to Dublin or anywhere near a major city, whether or not that's Cork or Galway or wherever you are, obviously the roads are going to be busy and you're going to be sat in traffic for a long period of time. But if you are anywhere else pretty much in the country, then the roads are very, very quiet. We haven't really came into too much traffic, apart from, like I said, when we've been close by to a city. So another point I want to make is regarding the fuel, I guess the fuel prices. So if you, again, are from the UK, you'll know that typically, well, currently at least in 2025, you'll pay more for diesel and less for petrol or gasoline. Whereas it's the opposite here, so you pay less for diesel, which is a win for me because this is a diesel. You pay less for diesel and more for petrol or gasoline. So that's something to consider. Currently, at the time of recording, you can expect to pay anywhere from $1.58 to around $1.79, and that's for both fuels. There's not really much, maybe 5 cents or so per litre between the two fuels. Like I said, you know, fuel prices, they obviously go up and down with inflation, with the cost of oil and all the rest of it, so don't take that for gospel. But the fuel prices are a slight bit more than the UK, but definitely nowhere near as much as they are in other European countries. Another point worth mentioning is the police here, also known as the Garda. In general, it seems that they are a lot more strict. Obviously, I haven't, you know, came across them personally myself, but it does seem like there is a lot more around, especially in and around cities, and they seem to be more on the ball. when it comes to the policing side of things. I mean, I've been to London a bunch of times. You see like people, you know, riding up and down on off-road motorbikes, and they just don't seem to get caught, whereas I don't see that being that big of a problem here. They seem to be much more with it and in control of things. I think they get a lot more respect as well compared to the UK police. But one thing to mention about you know, I guess speeding fines, we've noticed there's a lot more speed vans, you know, where they'll have a camera in the back of a van. I haven't really noticed any mounted speed cameras, what you might find on the top of a traffic light or on a motorway. In the UK, up and down the motorways, there is a gantry with like speed cameras on. I haven't really noticed that there. May get back to the UK now and find out that I've got a bunch of speeding fines, but that won't be the case, of course, because I haven't been speeding. So yeah, we shall see. But yeah, of course, just drive the speed limit. That's pretty much, you know, my advice anyway you drive. I don't know how much you can expect to pay for a fine, but it's probably, again, probably going to be more than you would expect to pay in the UK, because I think the UK is actually one of the most lenient countries when it comes to fines. So don't speed. That would be my advice. I guess another point to make is, what do you need on your car to drive here in the first place? And again, this is heavily going to be to those coming from the UK. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the rules are if you are coming from another country. But if you're coming from the UK, you don't need any kind of sticker or anything really. You don't need any tags of any kind. You just need your driver's license, of course. You need to have your brake. It's a good idea to have breakdown cover. I'd imagine it's probably not a, you know, a mandatory thing. And then you just need car insurance. That's basically it, I think. Whereas if you are driving in other countries in Europe, you will need a sticker or something on your number plate which identifies which country you're from, and you may need to do certain things with your, say for example, your headlights. So if you are in a right-handed drive car and you're driving on the right, typically you'll need a beam deflector, I guess you call it, so that you're not basically blinding drivers on the other side of the road. And you then, in certain countries, say for example France, you need to carry a whole bunch of things: first aid kits, fire extinguisher. There's like loads of different rules, but here in Ireland it's pretty relaxed with that side of things. Here's a point I want to make for my American viewers, and it may confuse some of you, and I'm not trying to patronize you here, but in the US you don't really have many roundabouts. So if you are driving in Ireland, expect to come up to some roundabouts. It's very easy to navigate. All you do is, of course, you drive on the left, you drive round the roundabout, and you will indicate off to the left. Now when it comes to giving way or yielding, you will give way to the right. So if there is a car that if there's a car that's on the roundabout or wants to enter the roundabout from the right, you give way to them. And of course, you will enter when it's clear, and then, like I said, you will go around it clockwise and you will exit on the left. So some more advice is, if you are driving here, especially for the first time, don't spend too much time in and around cities. Don't spend too much time in Dublin. If you are coming here for a long trip, 1 or 2 days in and around Dublin is fine, but make sure you get out there, you know, see the countryside. Ireland is a beautiful country. Make sure you explore, make sure you put some good miles in. And some benefits from, getting out there and going to the middle of nowhere basically is parking is often free, whereas if you are anywhere near a city centre, you're going to have to pay extortionate prices for parking. Not only that, you're going to spend, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to spend a lot of time sat in traffic. So don't be shy, explore the whole country. You can do it in a week or two. So, you know, like I said, make sure you explore and don't be, you know, sitting around the cities for too long. One thing you have to realise with Ireland is it's a heavily, you know, agricultural based country, so you're gonna come across a lot of tractors and farm vehicles, and of course they have to use the road as well. Now typically they'll only be restricted to say 20 or 30 miles an hour, so you do have to be patient and, you know, pick your right time when it comes to overtaking them. Now if you are on a road that does have kind of like a hard shoulder or a towing lane, I guess you'd call it, then what you'll find is they will actually move over. Most of the time they will actually move over to the left and let you overtake them. So they do seem to be very courteous here, but like I said, you know, these farm vehicles, they have to use the road as well at the same time, so you just have to be you know, courteous to them and just give them the time that they need to be able to maneuver out of the way. And I think that about wraps everything up for what to expect if you are driving in Ireland. Like I said, for the most part you have nothing to worry about, especially if you have previously driven in the UK. It's basically the exact same. If anything, it's better. The roads are better, the scenery is beautiful. Enjoy the country, you've got nothing to worry about. I hope this video has been helpful. I want to thank you all for watching. Give it a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so. I'll see you all in that next one.